Victoria 3 is the new and highly anticipated Paradox Interactive grand strategy game set to release Tuesday, October 25th. Unfortunately, with the recent lifting of the embargo on the game, I have to say that I feel as if it will underperform Paradox expectations and the fanbase's over 10-year wait from Victoria 2. Why would I say this, you may ask? A couple of very crucial reasons that make VIC3 more like Imperator Rome on launch and less like Crusader Kings 3. To start with, the first factor I wish to look at is the AI, or lack thereof. AI nations in VIC3 tend to mismanage their economy, or at least, from what I've seen, poorly and randomly build buildings, and constantly fall into large-scale civil wars. A change from VIC2, which had individual rebel units spawn. It seems that the game is just too easy for a semi-competent player in single player, not to mention unstable in multiplayer for more than 3 to 4 players, alongside no in-game MP chat. The war system, I have to say, is also sufficiently lacking for single player, especially in late game, where your AI allies tend to randomly charge into the front line against machine guns and get mowed down, and vice versa for you against the AI. The system seems poorly made, and on top of that, the AI barely understand it. I will say, there is some good poking at from the game. The economy system, including trade, and some buildings work quite well. I like how countries' markets function. However, the loss of the capitalist mechanic and decisions on who construct your country from VIC2 is a big one that greatly changes the dynamic of the game. While the journal entry system does allow for some interesting agency, it is sufficiently lacking for almost every nation in the game, especially in places like South America or Asia, which I imagine will be filled in one of the many DLCs for the game in coming years. The game also lacks some major railroading, which can make it unstable around the world. This means that, for example, the US never gets its proper border with Mexico or Canada, the American Civil War goes haywire, China seems to have, like the US, the Heavenly Kingdom just randomly spawning throughout the nations, many times coexisting with China, while Japan is extremely inactive the whole game, failing to ever rise up to challenge neighboring nations. Maybe this is a problem across the game, in which the AI is super passive. If the player is in an area, you can usually roll over the AI with minimal impacts or effort, while the AI itself rarely does something when simulating the game. Overall, it is not that I wanted these opinions. I have thousands of hours in VIC2, EU4, CK3, HOI4, and Stellaris, but it just feels like VIC3 at launch is just underpolished, no matter how pretty the map is. It is unready for a large amount of single-player experience, and especially lacking for multiplayer with the lack of chat, poorly run servers, and the lack of proper interesting work. I would recommend waiting and seeing how the game plays out instead of buying right away, spending a couple months looking at new patches and maybe a new DLC. Sincerely, Wonder Productions.